Peace, Black people. This is your sister Thiah Muhammad with Raising Black Millionaires with you again today. Now listen, as part of helping our audience to understand the different ways we can rear our children to be successful business owners, business owners who can go on to really become millionaires and billionaires, I wanted to every once in a while grab some of our youth who are doing some awesome things to really, really make that happen, right? And I wanted to just kind of connect you with some real life examples of youth and parents and educators who are doing their part to make it happen so that you can really understand that there is a plethora of different ways that you as a parent and or educator can do the same thing. And so today, I wanted to hop onto a quick live with Breanna Sherman, who is the founder of Bree Strong Sports and Wellness. It's a sports wellness and lifestyle coaching service that's dedicated to building resilient, tough, and competitive athletes that can overcome adversity to really reach their greatness both on and off the field through holistic development, right? Now, I met this phenomenal young lady last year in a mastermind group that my husband and I joined. And since then, her initial business has grown and she's developed an entirely different business offering different services that are really B2B or business to business types of services, right? But we're going to talk more about all of that a bit later. But in the meantime, what's going on, Bree?
Hey, Miss Thiah. How are you?
I am copacetic, baby. Thank you for asking. But now, Bree, listen. I know when I had you on to the Raising Black Millionaires show, we talked about how you began your journey as an entrepreneur and everything. But I'd like for you to share with the audience how you ended up in the mastermind and what your overall experience has been since joining the mastermind. Because you really came in, honestly, Bree, you came into the mastermind and you were more active than some of the people who actually wrote the check to sign up to be like I'm seeing posts from you every day, several times a day, like, so can somebody give me some insight on this? And you were giving insight in one of the mastermind meetings, y'all. We had these quarterly mastermind meetings, right? And so I remember at one of the meetings, we had this session where, we analyze each other's businesses and we express the challenges that we're having. And so here out of nowhere comes Breanna, and she is like giving solution after solution after solution to business owner after business owner. And we're like, where'd she come from, right? And so it was so funny because her mom, who I'm going to chat with later on this week, on Friday, I think we're going to chat on Friday so you can really hear her perspective too as a parent. But she, in that session, she was like, now I've been having challenges in my business, and this girl who I bore hasn't offered me not now like she's offering y'all, right? So anyway, I digress. I just wanted to share with you a little insight as to just how phenomenal this young lady is.
Thank
and
you.
how really, if you put your children in the right environments, they will soar. But nonetheless, listen, I wanted you to really kind of take us through, those who are watching with us today, take us through like how you end up getting into the mastermind and how you've grown as a person and an entrepreneur since the beginning.
Okay, so for me, I am a recent graduate, so I graduated from college last year, and I tell this story all the time. I wanted my parents to send me, to the beach, a nice trip as a graduation gift. Yeah. My mom was like, no, I'm not sending you nowhere. I'm going to this conference, Traffic, Sales, and Profit, and I'm going to bring you with me. And I'd never heard of Traffic Sales and Profit. I wasn't even a part of the Facebook group at the time. And she was like, and I was like, I don't want to go to a conference. Like, I've been sitting through lectures and seminars, for the past, couple of years. Like, the last thing I want to do as I'm graduating is, get ready and go to a conference. Yeah, I'm trying to celebrate. And so she was like, well, you're coming anyways. So I'm like, okay. So it was like, I think maybe like a week before the conference, she was like, Breanna, you need to join the Facebook group. So she invited me in, and I got accepted into the Facebook group. And I'm like looking, and I'm like, okay, like this, this seems pretty interesting. But like, just in that week, it was so much information that was just being poured into that Facebook group that by the time I got to the event, I was completely like nervous. I was like, I don't have a business. Like, I have business ideas, but like, I don't have like a set business. Like, all these business owners are doing this. Like, I don't know like what it is that, I really, I don't have a set plan.
Yeah.
And so I attended the event, and the first day, literally the first maybe 15, 20 minutes, I was just welcomed into this group with like open arms, and people are like, like giving me ideas, giving me, different, just this advice and just whatever they could give me, they were willing to kind of pour into me. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. And so with that, my mom ended up joining the mastermind group, and I was able to participate in, the meetings and then the trainings and things like that. And as a result, it showed me a lot about, it just showed me a lot about the power of community, because as a business student, we are kind of taught that it's kind of like a dog eat dog kind of world kind of thing. Like, you have to compete with others to be on top kind of thing. And within this community, one of their mottos is, we don't compete, we collaborate. So people are literally like joining together and kind of doing, things to help elevate each other and lift each other up. So with that, I was so willing to be like, oh, I have this idea. Oh, you can take this idea, you can do this, you can do that. And people were doing the same for me. And by me attending these different conferences, I was exposed to many different people. And a lot of the connections were ones that have helped me grow my business. One of the one that I think for the pivot that I kind of had to make in my business, from away from the Bree Strong sports wellness and lifestyle business, because with that, I was struggling trying to really get that, to bring my vision into fruition kind of thing. And speaking with, Miss Lamar and other people, they're like, maybe this isn't the route that you need to take right now. This is, you have other things that, you're doing. And with that business, I was doing a lot of video production and video editing and stuff like that. And I remember me and Miss Lamar, we had a conversation. He was like, well, Bree, what can you do right now that you're good at that will make you money? And I was like, but I want to be, a motivational speaker. And he was like, no, what are you doing right now that can kind of make you, generate revenue? And I'm like, I don't know. And he was like, well, the videos, like there's always a need, for business owners to kind of use those kind of services. Yes, and I was like, okay, well, I don't really know like what it is that, I can kind of offer kind of thing. Cause it was just like, I was doing this for fun for like years. Right. So it never like occurred to me, like, people will pay you to do this for them and kind of take that off of their plate. Yeah. Yeah. So I went, this was right before the event in January. And so the event in January, Miss April Frank, she was one of the speakers there. And I was like so nervous because this is like amazing woman, like on this stage, like just talking about, community and everything that she has to offer. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, like she's amazing. Like I want to meet her. Yeah. And so of course, like I was nervous to like walk up and like actually introduce myself. As bubbly and, my personality is, I'm kind of like an introvert. So
this was at TSP Game Plan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And so Coach P introduced me to her. And the week after, I ended up following her on Facebook. And the very first live that I saw of hers, she was looking for ambassadors for her upcoming conference. And so I'm like, well, I don't know how I can kind of, do this. I don't really, have much to, I didn't know. So I went out on a limb and I was nervous about applying, but I went and applied for that.
You didn't know what you had to offer? Is that what you were getting at?
Yeah. So it was more so like, how can I help her with her event kind of thing? Yeah. So it was like people that had different backgrounds that I felt like they could use their expertise to kind of help promote the event and help, really, pretty much help serve her as she's serving her tribe. So I was a little like, well, I don't know, how would I, because I have this business idea, or I have this business at this moment, and, I'm not really sure what I'm doing in my own business. So how can I help somebody else with their business, kind of thing. But I applied and she selected me. And one of the things that we had to do was promote the conference, of course. And so I started doing like these funny little like promo videos kind of thing. And she just saw that and she like loved it. And then the other ambassadors were coming to me and was like, hey, how much would it cost, for you to make one of these for me? And I'm like, I don't know. So I just like came up with a number, and I just threw out a number out there. And then it was like 1 ambassador, 2 ambassadors, 4 ambassadors, like literally the ambassadors paid my way to go to get to the event. So I was like, okay, all right, this is, divine intervention. This is, everything is happening, how it's supposed to.
Yeah.
And so we get our assignments as to what we would be doing at the conference. And she put me on the social media team. And I'm like, I was like, can I get another job? Can I get put on, can I be like, hospitality or something? Like, I don't really know. And they were like, no, we've seen what you're doing. Like, you're going to be on social media. So I go to the event, and like the very first day, like I'm just doing just what kind of.
But wait, Bree, why were you apprehensive about doing social media?
Because
I do social media.
I do, but at the time I didn't realize that I was actually doing social media, because what I was doing, it was just, I was just doing that for fun. So it was like, I didn't really see like how that was like social media. Like it was like, I was
value in it.
Yeah, I didn't see the value in it. And then it was like, even when people were paying me to make these videos, I'm like, okay, like this is cool. And like Mr. Lamar, what he was saying, people will pay for this. I was still like, so it was almost like I was doubting myself. It was like that voice in my head was like, all right, people, have gone to school for this. People have, taken classes for this, studied extensively for, this. So who do you think you
put in your lap?
Yeah, it's like, so who do you think you are, kind of just stepping on the scene and then charging people to do this kind of thing. And so I was like super, super nervous being in that role, because the other people on the social media team, they were doing, like Facebook lives every week. Like they had these big Facebook communities, like social media communities. And I'm just like, my business page has maybe 50 people following me. So I'm just like, I didn't really see the value that I had to add to that social media team.
Sure.
And so the very first day, I just kind of doing what I was doing. And it's funny, I'll back up a little bit, because one of the members of the mastermind, Mr. Keon, he, I was posting that, I was a part of, the social media. Keon Johnson. Yeah. And so what he did was he started sending me, different gizmos and gadgets for me to use. And he actually sent me a stabilizer camera. So like the DJI Osmo. So
wait. Time out. Listen. If y'all haven't tripped off the value in this story yet, let me just pause just for a second to highlight some of this, because this is too much good stuff, Bree, to gloss over, right? So you said, let me explain something to you. I have on my list for things that we need to get is one of those Osmos, right? What I have it on my list to get. Like, it's on my list. Like, if you pull up my phone and you get things to get for Thiah, for Raising Black Millionaires, that's on there. You're saying that Big Brother Keon Johnson sent you, he just mailed it to you.
Yeah. So he sent me a link to one that I could use for my phone. And then he asked me, how are you doing with that? And he said, I have one that I, am not currently using, I think would be really good for you. And I said, oh yeah, like that would be cool. Like, just whenever, if you can make that possible, like I would appreciate it. And he was like, yeah, no problem. And so like within like a week, he had sent me like the DJI, the camera. He sent me like a ton of like accessories for it. And he was like, literally like walking me through like, okay, like this is what you got to do, go here, check YouTube, this and this is good for this. And he was like constantly like checking on me, like, you know, is there any, you know, if I find anything else, you know, I'll send it to you, kind of thing. And we were talking about like lenses, and I've never, like, of course I take pictures, but it's like in videos like on my phone, but I've never like, I've never like even thought that I would be the person that would get like really excited over like a gadget like that.
Wow.
But just in this kind of, I just kind of have, and he sent me that for me to use at the conference. So not only would I have, you know, the one that I use with my phone, but he also sent me one to kind of have as a backup as well. So that was really cool. And so moving forward to the day of the first day of the event, I'm just doing what I'm kind of doing, and I am recording like Miss April's like entrance into the conference kind of thing. And I like quickly like turn that into like a 60-second, I call them sizzle reels, but 60-second little promo reel. And I pushed it right out within like an hour. And so like people were liking and commenting and liking and commenting. And she's like on the stage, so she doesn't know like that people are, you know, watching the videos. And then one of the people on her team came up to me and was like, "Did you do this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "When did you have time to do this?" And I was like, well, I've just been sitting back here, you know, working on it. And then once April got off the stage, she had a chance to actually see it. And then she had sent a text to one of her team members, and they came up to me and was like, "April said, like, you were the bomb. Like, you were the bomb." And I'm just like, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, like thank you. And then people are like, and that was the thing. It was like, I didn't realize what I was doing. Like, because again, like I was just doing it for fun. I was like, well, this person over here is doing Facebook Lives. This person over here is doing this. I guess I'll just make these videos and hope that this is good enough. Yeah. And so, and that was really cool. And from that, she actually shouted me out from the stage. So that was like free promo. And like people were like, she was like, you know, I know y'all have seen the videos that have been pushing out on my page, like Bree Sherman in the bag. And I'm like stuffing my face with like chips or something. I'm like, and she's like, she's the one that's doing them. And people were like talking, and I made a couple different ones for her for the event. And from that, there were, of course, several influencers there, and event producers there, and things like that. And they like, "Can I get your card? Can I get your card? Can I get your card?" And then so from
and
that,
her event was epic, right?
Mm-hmm, Epicon.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so from that, like people were talking, and people were like, "Oh my gosh!" And like I had my like service list up, and Miss April had a conversation with me and was like, "You're not charging enough for your services." She was like, "What's going to happen is you're going to have 100 people who see the value of what you're doing. They're going to try to quickly grab you at these prices, and you're going to be overwhelmed." Yeah. And so what she told me to do, she was like, before the event, she was like, in May, you need to increase your prices. So this is April. The event was in April. And then the second night of the event, after like all the buzz was like going on, she was like, she put me to the side and she said, "You need to go right now, and you need to go up your prices." She said, "You need to triple everything." And I'm like, hesitant. Yeah, I'm like hesitant because I'm like, people aren't gonna pay for me to, you know, do this. But since April, I've had, you know, several. Well, I've had close to maybe 20, 25 projects since April.
Wait. Did you do what she said at the moment she said?
Yeah, I did. It was hard because I was calculating the numbers, and I was like, nobody's gonna pay for this. Nobody's gonna pay for this. And like after that event, people were like, you know, "Can you do this for me? You know, my business for me." And the funny thing is, I actually had 3 of the ambassadors who, for their businesses, I shot videos for them at the event. So once the event was over, I was shooting theirs, and they paid for it and everything. And then within like, I think that week of me being back home, I had pushed all their videos out for them to promote different things that they were doing. And I have booked several events, some in September, August.
Events like conferences.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And they paying your way and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty. Yeah. And then after that, I actually had the opportunity to, because of this, and again, like the community, Mr. Lamar saw what I was doing, and he brought me on at this most recent event for me to capture
TSP Live.
Yeah, for me to capture testimonials for him. So, and he paid me to do that. And then one of my mentors that I met at the first TSP event was Alfred Edmond Jr.
Yes.
So I met. So he.
Alfred Edmond Jr. from Black Enterprise, by the way.
From Black Enterprise, yes. And he actually gave me a ticket to the Black Enterprise conference that just happened, and I went down there and I made a video for the conference. No one was paying me for that, but just to be in that space and him afford me the opportunity to be in the room. And Mr. Lamar was actually speaking there, and he was like, "You think you can capture my panel?" And he's like, "I'll pay you." And I was like, "Yep." Yeah, absolutely. So it's just been, everything has kind of been connected to the fact that I was in that room and my mom brought me to that conference, because had not I been, in that space, I would kind of just be like a hamster running on the wheel kind of thing, trying to figure out, all right, well, this is my idea and I'm trying to make this work, but nothing's happening. And I think the biggest thing for me that I've learned to be okay with is, just because you have an idea, an initial idea, it's okay to kind of pivot away from it if necessary. And at first I kind of fought against doing the videos because I was so focused on the Bree Strong sports, wellness, and lifestyle, because that was my baby. That was what I was most passionate about. But the space that I'm in right now, I am okay with the fact that I've had to put that on hold, because now it's like, well, I can use this to kind of fund what this is my vision for it. I want to hire a grant writer to and then convert the Bree Strong Sports, Wellness, and Lifestyle into a nonprofit, and then hire a grant writer to kind of help bring in grants and funding for that. So this is kind of, just a temporary little pivot kind of thing, and I'm having fun doing it. And it's afforded me, it's afforded me different, opportunities, because I've always said I wanted to travel. So it's like, if people are paying me to, travel to their events and do different things, this is kind of a blessing in itself. So. And
how old are you, Bree?
I am. I was like, no, I'm 26.
That's cool. So I'm first of all, congratulations, like from the depths of my heart. I'm super, super proud of you. I'm so happy, and I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of your mom, right? Like, I'll get into that part later on when I talk with her later this week, but I want people to be able to just really, really absorb the significance of what happened. You went to an event that you were reluctant about going to. Like, you're like, why is she bringing me? I'm trying to celebrate. Like, I just got through doing all these years of learning. Like, I don't want to sit in no conference, like that type of thing, right? To really, of your own accord and own volition, going and checking out the TSP group, and really checking into just reading some of the things, some of the activity that was going on in the group, and then just allowing yourself to be open to the process. And then for you to be as introspective as you've been, to consider, okay, what your initial goal was is still a very beautiful and worthy goal, but maybe, just maybe, there's value in going with the flow with what's being presented to me now, and just allowing that to sit here to the side as I grow, because more than likely my vision of what I initially had for that is going to grow too, and morph into something that's even greater than what I initially had in mind. So I think that's phenomenal. You reminded me of, since you brought up April, you reminded me of one of the expert trainings that she and Lamar did for the mastermind, when they were talking about how they came together and were supportive for each other in earlier years, right? And this was before TSP had even developed the mastermind group that we know now, right? And he was talking about how, or they were talking about how April had a whole different vision for her brand at that time. And they came together and they're like, look, there is a better way to make money, and how she had to pivot. And so just so that she could offer greater to more receptive group of people, and then just really soar with that for her brand.
And I think it's funny because when I heard her tell that story, I was like, okay, all right. And then she had told it again to the ambassadors, you know, how she kind of met Miss Lamar. And I'm like, okay. And then the funny thing is, she was like, I didn't give up on this. She was like, I just put it on hold for a second. But now it's coming back, you know, into her serving, you know, her initial, you know, vision, her initial goal. And she's doing some of those things that she had initially wanted to do in the space that she's in now. And it's funny because I call myself a motivational entertainer. So doing like motivational speaking and workshops and things like that. And because of some of the videos that I've done, you know, I now do workshops for, you know, middle school girls, and I'm speaking on a panel in August for, you know, mother-daughter girls transitioning into high school kind of thing. So I'm like, okay, like it's not, all is not lost. Like I'm okay with, you know, and kind of understanding, like you said, that, you know, just because I had to put it on hold for a second, you know, everything else will kind of, you know, come into my space, you know, kind of when it's time for it to. So
so let's talk about, before we wrap up, let's talk about exactly what your services are, how people can get in touch with you to get those services, and let's start there.
Okay, so the business that I'm doing now is called Bree Shot Ya. So I'm a influencer, event doc, and I do like branding for like businesses, entrepreneurs, influencers, things like that. So my specialty is sizzle reels. So a lot of like the creative and captivating, like 60-second like videos that can kind of be transformed into like Facebook ads or social media ads and things like that. Or even like sent out as like a lead magnet, like in an email or things like that. So I kind of do those things. And I really enjoy, you know, being able to attend like events and attend like conferences and stuff, to actually shoot the video and create the video. Because for me, what I found is if I'm able to be involved in the creative process from start to finish, I can push out the video within like an hour. And people, you know, at Epic were asking, you know, how are you doing this? Or even at like TSP, I pushed out a video for them. They're like, how this just happened? Like, how are you doing this? And I'm like, well, I knew the event was going to happen. And as weird as it sounds, the video played in my head before I even picked up, you know, my camera. So I was able to kind of go and, you know, shoot what I needed to shoot to kind of match what was already in my head. And because of that, it's like, after that, you just put it together and then it's done, kind of thing. So I like the creative, you know, freedom that my clients have kind of, you know, given me, because, you know, I can do, you know, fun stuff, can add music and things like that. But I also do like graphic creation for like, if you have like flyers, if you have like social media gifts that you want to like make and push out, I do that. I do animation videos.
Like it's good stuff. And I'm saying she's done stuff for April, for Shy Chef, for some of you who are familiar with Shy Chef. Give me some more for TSP.
Coils by Nature. I did a promo for her. Izzy and Liv. I did the Cash Mob video for them. And a lot of the videos have like the Izzy and Liv video, I think right now is at 2,400 views, and it was at 1,600 views within like 3 days. And so it's like a lot of the videos are getting like a lot of traction. It's like,
and is that from you pushing them out, or is that from you giving it to them and them sending it out? From you pushing?
So there's no like paid, there's nothing paid behind it. It's just organic kind of traffic. So a lot of those videos have kind of gotten, the Shyla Chef one I think is at 1,100 right now. And people are still like sharing that. Like, I think I got a notification yesterday that somebody shared it. So it's just like, all right, it's kind of like validation for, you know, Bree, like you can do this. Like
repetitive validation. Yeah.
So that's kind of what I do. Just like a lot of like visual, like creative visual type things. I kind of like doing PowerPoint presentations, speaker reels, anything where I can kind of just take it and just kind of flip it into something kind of really cool. The best way to contact me would be through email. And that's Bree Shot Ya at breestrong.com. So BREE shot SHOTYA at Breestrong, BREESTRONG.com. And then I have my Facebook page, Bree Shot Ya. I'm still pushing a lot of my projects on there. And then Instagram as well, at Bree Shot Ya, where a lot of like my projects and stuff are being uploaded to there. So that's the best way to kind of contact me or kind of see what it is that I'm up to,
and people can go onto that page and see some of those videos that you've mentioned.
Yeah, so a lot of the videos, because actually after TSP, I went and made the Facebook page because I was just used to my videos kind of speaking for themselves, but I was never like tagging any of my videos or anything like that. So after that, I was like, okay, let me just make a page and kind of put everything there, like a virtual portfolio kind of thing. So that's where I'm like pushing and uploading like a lot of like my projects and stuff now. So a lot of them, some of them are like older stuff, but I'm pushing like all my new stuff will be on that page, and then as well as on my Instagram page as well.
Perfect. Bree, thank you so much. For anything else you want to add?
I just want to say thank you. I love you, of course. You've definitely been one of those that have supported me in this entrepreneurial, journey that I've been on. And again, just the power in community. And I don't even want to say the power in community because it's, especially like with Traffic Sales and Profit, like it feels like a family, kind of thing. Yeah. So it's just like, I have an extended family that's everywhere. And it's just, it's such a great thing to kind of, when we can come together, or not even, physically come together, but do things, kind of like this, we can come together and kind of support one another with what we have going on. So I really do appreciate you for bringing me on and talking to me. And as always, it's a pleasure speaking to you.
Likewise, anytime. We will hold you down over here. Absolutely. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing your experience with everybody, because really, you really have personified everything that we are working to get parents and educators to really to do with their children. And you're grown, but you're young. Like I'm thinking about, man, if I had been doing that at 26, it's a beautiful, what you're doing is so beautiful and so inspirational, because you're giving parents, in my opinion, more than anything, an outlook of what it looks like to nurture your children just by putting them in the right environments, to be able to really to empower them to be able to write their own tickets and to enjoy it, right? To organically come into their own, create their own future just from a thought alone. And that's exactly what you're doing. So I'm super grateful. We have all the love in the world for you over here. And so thank you again, Bree. I look forward to talking to you. I'm going to talk to you and again. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you to hold on before we end up. We're going to get offline, but but absolutely, I look forward to connecting with you just in general for some other projects we're working on, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Until next time, everybody, please, if you're catching this on replay, go ahead and hit type in replay. And I would love to know what takeaways you've gotten from our conversation with Bree. Just let us know and be sure to share. Don't be stingy and hold all this goodness that she shared just to yourself, keeping it close to the chest. Don't do that. So, but go ahead and share it out, and be sure to look into Bree's page, because like I said, you'll be able to see easily the value in the work that she does. And I know that you're going to need, as a business owner, you'll need her services. So until next time, you all, peace.